Yo, what is good everybody? This is SloMo here, back at you with another video. This video is the second in my Coming Soon series. And if you didn't watch the first one, the Coming Soon series is games that I'm featuring that I think would be the very best to play in a particular time period. And I usually do it by seasons. So this being for fall 2019, these will only be games that I'm featuring between September to November of this year. And if you feel like there's a game I missed, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. But without further ado, let's get into it. The first game up is Gears 5, being developed by the Coalition, published by Xbox Game Studios. Gears 5 is running on Unreal Engine 4 and is the third game developed by the Coalition in the Gears series. So the first two were Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which was a remaster of Gears of War 1, and also Gears of War 4. If you aren't familiar with Gears, Gears is a third-person perspective cover shooter. This time the main protagonist will be Kate, introduced in Gears of War 4. We know many of the popular characters like Marcus Phoenix, Coltrane, JD and Dell, Baird will be returning in a secondary role, but the story will focus on Kate and her journey. Now me personally, I've been a big Gears of War fan since the very beginning. Been mostly playing the campaign, reading the books. I do dabble in the multiplayer from time to time, but primarily with the campaign. I've played through the original trilogy at least 4 times with my friends. And I do have to commend the Coalition and Rob Ferguson for listening to the fan base when they said they were disappointed at E3 when the Coalition did not show any footage at all from the campaign. They heard the fan base and decided to, at Gamescom, show a trailer of the campaign. So kudos to them for adjusting and listening to the fans. Me personally, I still wish I could have saw some actual gameplay of the campaign, but I'm not gonna stress it. What they showed was enough. And about that campaign, Gears 5 will feature 3-player co-op this time, with the third player being able to use the robot Jack as the third playable character. Gears 5 will be returning with multiple multiplayer modes. To go through them, let's begin with Deathmatch, which is your traditional multiplayer that people love from Gears. This time there will be a competitive mode and an arcade mode. This has been playable at least a month ago with a Gears of War technical alpha. The arcade mode is very different from what has been traditional player versus player gameplay for Gears. You aren't able to choose the weapons that you want to use in the beginning. You can't just choose weapons lying around the map, so there will be no camping on, say, sniper rifles or the Nash or shotgun. You have to build up points over time while you're playing to be able to purchase in-game currency to get certain weapons. And they have buffed other weapons outside of just the Nasher to kind of make other weapons more popular to use as well. Arcade mode is definitely going to be something that the casual Gears player, the casual Gears multiplayer player will enjoy. The more hardcore, sweaty Gears multiplayer people are going to be hanging out in the competitive, and they're probably going to really enjoy that. Horde mode has been given an update. Horde mode now will give you incentives for moving your fortified area to a different area. It will also feature having the characters that you use having unique special abilities, which I think is just a great idea. Previously, when you play Horde mode, you would just choose a particular character because that's the skin you wanted to use while you were going through these 50 waves of Horde. This time, each character will bring a unique ability, so now you have to really think about team composition. Do I want to get Kate, who can turn invisible? Do I want to get the guy that can shoot through walls and see enemies through walls? Do I want to be able to shoot down artillery on certain areas? Now it has become something to discuss with the people that you're playing with. And team composition now seems to be pretty important. Hopefully the enemies and the waves coming at you are even harder to kind of justify some of these what seems to be OP abilities, but we'll see. And last but not least is escape mode, which is a brand new mode where you're racing against a poisonous mist to escape these certain rooms. And they showed a trailer for that at E3 as well as some gameplay after that. It looks interesting, something that I feel like I'm going to need to actually play in order to know whether I'm going to enjoy it or not, but I'm glad they're doing something new. Gears 5 will be releasing September 10th, and it will be playable on the Xbox One and PC. Now, if you have Game Pass, you can play this game September 10th without actually having to buy the game. And it also, if you buy the Ultimate Edition or have Game Pass Ultimate, you can play the game early on September 6th, as well as enjoy a Terminator skin, as well as enjoying having the 2 characters from Halo Reach actually be playable in horror mode. So just some incentives there for people who have Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate. There you go. Next up is Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 is being developed by Gearbox and published by 2K, and it is also another game running on the Unreal Engine 4. Borderlands 3 is the highly anticipated sequel to the original loot shooter Borderlands 1 and 2. Gearbox has done a great job promoting this game, despite their CEO and publisher doing seemingly everything in their power to sabotage its launch. Regardless of that, we have seen hours of awesome gameplay, and it kind of proves that, you know, even if you have some really bad leadership, if your game's awesome, people still will be interested. And another great thing they've done is that they've even given you players free DLC for Borderlands 2 that kind of closes the gap as far as story is concerned between the 2 games of Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 is the originator of the loot shooter genre. Borderlands has always had the very best skill trees, the very best build diversity, and the most unique guns, and that also have those guns with, say, certain shields and certain mods can create awesome combinations that you just really don't see in any other game in this genre. Instead of sticking to the planet Pandora like the previous games, Borderlands 3 will be going to multiple planets featuring very different environments. Borderlands 3 will be available September 13th on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and even Google Stadia. Next up is Code Vein, developed by Bandai Namco Studios and published by Bandai Namco. This is yet again another game running through the Unreal Engine 4, no surprise there. This is an action RPG set in an open post-apocalyptic world. Code Vein will put players in the role of a revenant, kind of like a vampire, who with the aid of an AI controlled partner will battle their enemies in an attempt to escape the region of Vein. As a revenant, players can absorb the powers of their enemies via blood veils and use them to increase their strength, weaken enemies, and utilize new weapons abilities with attacks. Code Vein will be released September 27th and will be releasing on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Rolling into October is Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Ghost Recon Breakpoint is being developed by Ubisoft Paris, Bucharest, Montpellier, Bordeaux, Odessa, Kyiv, Belgrade, and Milan. Yes, that is 7 different Ubisoft teams, published by Ubisoft itself. Ubisoft has a way of, when they don't believe in crunch, so what they do is they just get a bunch of different teams from all over Europe, typically Europe, sometimes America as well, to develop their games, and it does seem to allow them to get games out in a very short period of time without having to overwork their staff, so much props to them for that. But back to Breakpoint. Breakpoint is running on the Anvil Next 2.0 game engine. The very first version of this engine was used often in Assassin's Creed games, but this current version has been used most recently in Rainbow Six Siege, For Honor, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey. For Ubisoft, it seems to be their engine of choice outside of the Division games and outside of Far Cry. But if you're not familiar with Ghost Recon is a tactical shooter, and this one in particular, Breakpoint, is reincorporating some of the elements of older Ghost Recon games, yet still also being set in an open world like Wildlands. Players now can use mud to camouflage themselves and slide down rocky environments. I think that's a nice addition to the gameplay, and it's also set 4 years in story, 4 years after Ghost Recon Wildlands. You will be able to play Ghost Recon Breakpoint October 4th, and it will be releasing on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. The next game in October is The Outer Worlds, being developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Private Division. It looks like, from recent comments from Xbox Game Studios director Matt Booty, that Obsidian may already be looking into doing a sequel, and any sequel for this game will be published by Xbox Game Studios, considering that Xbox Game Studios now owns the license for the license IP for The Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds is also running on Unreal Engine 4. Just about every game seems to be running on Unreal Engine 4, but moving on. The Outer Worlds is a first-person perspective role-playing game similar to Fallout. It actually borrows a lot from the Fallout series in terms of art direction and tone. The player can use stealth or social skills, you can call it persuasion, to avoid combat altogether. I think that's a pretty cool idea. As the player progresses, they gain experience points, which the player and their companions can use to level up and unlock new skills. You know, typical RPG elements here. The Outer Worlds will be releasing on October 25th. And will be playable on the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. And also, like Gears 5, if you own Game Pass, you can have access to this game at launch. Now, last but not least is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order is being developed by Respawn Entertainment and published by EA. Surprisingly, it's running Unreal Engine 4 and that's a big surprise considering that EA usually forces all the developers to use their proprietary Frostbite engine. But Respawn, luckily, doesn't have to do that, and this game looks pretty good. The timeline for this game takes place within the Star Wars universe between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. The main protagonist is a Jedi Padawan who escaped Order 66 and is in hiding until he's found to be a Jedi, and then now he's kind of forced into the rebellion. The combat is melee lightsaber focused, which I love, and it features the ability to upgrade your force powers over time. Now, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but when I saw the gameplay and the premise of this game, I was all in. So yeah, Star Wars Fallen Order, releasing November 15th on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. So that is all the games that I've got featured for fall 2019. Let me guys know if you are interested in any of these games, or let me know if there's a game that you feel that should have been listed that I missed. Let me know in the comment section below. And you guys have a great day. Hit the like button and subscribe. Talk to you guys later.